Alright, so this video is going to be about, how much work it actually takes to crack the conspiracy. And definitely I've been, working on that for lifetimes and came here in this lifetime for unfinished business because the cabal has had power throughout the ages, and this age right now is the actual final age that they are actually going to be in power. And when they are not in power, that is going to change the whole world. And right now, that is what is in the process of happening. Is the cabal that has, they are known as the Old World Order. The powers that were, the deep state, some of the main people in the most evil organization that there is are Bill and Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, the Bushes. They're all involved in, secret societies that have had plans to take over the world. And this goes very far back, and there's a lot of information behind it, which I am obviously taking on the quest of, definitely gathering that information, and with that information, cracking the greatest mystery that this world has ever known and the biggest conspiracy that there is. And I've done it, and so I'm going to the best of my ability, explain how that was done, and the reason why I'm doing that and continue to do it, despite the massive amount of mind control and disinformation and misinformation and confusion and just everything that is out there right now. Because the truth is that the things that were are breaking down, because it has been an illusion that we have lived in underneath. The truth is that there are black magicians, dark magicians that have created a world for us to live in, and we have accepted that world in the past times, and that's where we are today. At the end of that world that they have created for us to live in, because they do know that each and every single human being creates reality. And as soon as you come out of the womb, you are obviously heavily indoctrinated by the system of the world, which the system of the world has not been in humanity's favor. It's actually been a detriment to humanity, because the agenda of the elites has been to kill off humanity and enslave the rest that survive. And they do this through many different means, and I could go into that, but I will definitely maintain on my subjects that I was going to talk about in this. And that is basically the Illuminati, who they are, the hero's journey, and the age of deception and the 9 veils. And so what's going around right now is, obviously, when you start the going down the rabbit hole and taking the red pill, you do come upon the Illuminati. And when I was actually, I was in a meditation 8 years back, and this was when my spiritual awakening began, and I was on a dock on a on a lake, and it was beautiful. And I was in a deep meditation, and out all of a sudden, out of the corner in my mind's eye, I saw the all-seeing eye. And then it started to blink, and it was blinking, and I was just like, whoa, that is definitely an eye. I am seeing an eye with my eyes shut. And that was when I began to start to see with my mind, and realize that it's really not the eyes that see. The eyes just let in light. And there are other ways, obviously, to see. So that was really the beginning of my awakening. And at that same instance, I actually bilocated to the pyramids of Egypt, because I was, once the vision of the eye went away, I was floating over a desert, and I knew that I didn't know where exactly I was, but I was over a desert because I could see the terrain, and I could start to see palm trees and vegetation, and I knew I was in a desert. And then all of a sudden, I just saw the Great Pyramid, and that's when I knew that I was in the Illuminati. And obviously, that carries on from past lives, and I can explain that as well. But the Illuminati, they are there's two different sides, because one side calls themselves the Illuminati, and I would refer to these are the Freemasons, and the Dark Ones, that are corrupted, and those ones, they call themselves the Enlightened Ones, and they do have the light of the truth, but they keep it from the rest of the world. You know, if we were living in a world where the light of truth was not kept from the world, we would be living in a completely different world. The world that we would be living in is actually the world that they're living in, that they're keeping us from living in. And that's just one thing that's not known by a lot of people, is that the elite and the 1% and the powers that be, they are in control of everything. And until that is accepted, and until it is really accepted that when you come into this world, you are a slave with a number. I mean, they give you a social security number and put you in a system, and then that system determines who you are if you let it. And that's not who we are. We're not our jobs. We're not the money we make. You know, we're not the status that we have in the world. Definitely not. And the system that has been implemented on this world is all based on those things. And that is not based on God and the spirit of God. It's actually satanic. So there is that Illuminati, and then there's the other Illuminati, who are the good guys. And they do have the light of truth, and they use that light to enlighten the world, and to enlighten, enlighten the people. And that is who the other side of the Illuminati are. So there are definitely two sides of the Illuminati, and the truth is that either you're going to not accept this as a truth, and think that everybody's free, and the people that are in power are the best ones to be in those positions, and that they're anyone with a voice of authority, basically you're going to listen to, instead of using your own intuition. And that means you're controlled and mind controlled, and you're a slave. And you will be told what to do all your life, instead of having your own free will. And you will be a slave, and most likely you'll die, and you'll reincarnate and have to learn the lesson of what it is to attain freedom for your soul. And there are those that are going to be in the middle, that they know that there's something wrong with the world, and but they don't know what to do about it, so they just accept what is, and but they do know that there's something wrong with the world, but they just don't have the strength to be able to do anything about it. And those are the people in the middle, the gray, the gray area. And so there's the black, there's the gray, and then there's the white, and that's the light, and that's the light Illuminati. And those are the ones that have made the choice to take the red pill and see how far the rabbit hole goes, and actually go down it the whole way to the end to get to the light of truth. And then once that is attained, to then spread that knowledge to the world, so that the world can know what is really going on and what's really happening. And so when the decision to become one of the Illuminati is, it made, you start out in the world of common day, which is your everyday world, where it's your 9-to-5 job. You know that there's more, but you're just stuck in the cycle, and it just repeats itself, and it seems like there's no way out. And that's the world of common day, that's the not the real reality. That's the fake reality, the matrix, the illusion that has been created as a program for to run in people's minds, because it's mind control. And that's how you keep people in prison, is by imprisoning their mind. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to build prisons and concentration camps. You can just imprison people's minds. And that's what the dark ones, the black magicians, know how to do. And since the days of Atlantis have been doing, because they know how, they know the dark magic. They know how to control the masses with mind control. And so that definitely has to stop and be revealed, so that it can be seen that that's a real thing that's going on. So all of the magic, the dark magic, needs to be shown to the people for what it is, so that they can see through it all. And so once the world of common day, you then get the call to adventure. You get the call to something greater, something more. There's something more, and you finally receive a call from outside. And then at that point, there are those that refuse the call, and they hear the call, but they refuse it because they're comfortable in the world that they live in. They're comfortable with being, earning what they earn, and with their life and their cars and their houses, and those things is their comfort. So they don't want to leave those things behind. So they will refuse the call, and they will return back to the world of common day. And then there are those that actually have the courage to accept the call. And then that is accepting the call to adventure, which then leads you into the extraordinary world, which is on the other side of the veil. Because if you're living in death, you are on one side of the veil. But if you're actually living in life, you're on the other side. And those that have accepted the call will then go into the extraordinary world, where there is way more going on than what's going on in your life, in your box. Your consciousness gets expanded, and you realize that Everything you did know was a lie or a half lie or a little bit of the truth. I'm not saying that they just lie, but they don't tell you everything, because if they did, this world would know, that we were definitely not alone. That, and among other things, but obviously it's very clear that that has not been addressed yet. So it's clear that we're not living in truth yet. So that needs to be definitely addressed for this world to move on out of the cycle that it's been in. And so then there's the extraordinary world. And then once you get into the extraordinary world, you meet with a mentor. And that mentor has been in the extraordinary world. And the extraordinary world is not the ordinary world. It's not cars driving around. It's not people going to 9-to-5 jobs. It's more spiritual than that. So once you get there, you meet with mentors, and they help you and guide you to be able to operate in the extraordinary world, because you just came out of a world, where the world that you're now in is not supported by the world that you were in before, because it's absolutely 100% different, because it's truth. So that's the extraordinary world, meeting with the mentor. And then once you meet with the mentor, you have your road of tests and trials in the extraordinary world, which is individual for each person, because each person has their hero's journey and their path to the Grail, and their destiny, and their Akashic record. All of their highest possibilities are in an Akashic record. And once you go into the extraordinary world, your Akashic book gets open, and then you're not living a linear life anymore. You're living a non-linear life, and you are going for completion of something that already is. So that describes non-linear time, because most of this world lives in linear time because they can't see past anything in front of them. But if you're living in non-linear time, then something already is, and you're moving towards that, and that will change your whole entire perspective on time. And that's a very important thing to know, because there's time in the ordinary world and there's no time in the extraordinary world. So that's an important fact, because there is no time, really. So once you finish the road of tests and trials, then you reach the next stage, which is basically you meet with God. After you meet with God, which is you, which God is inside of you, and God is you. So you meet with God after doing that road of tests and trials, whatever it is, and that actually incorporates you meeting with what is called the anima. For a male, it would be the anima. For a female, it would be the animus, and that is the ideal picture of the opposite counterpart of yourself. So for me, it would be the image of myself that I see in a female. And for completion, that is important, because we are both male and female, whether we like it or not, because that's Jesus understood that, and all of the mystery school teachings understood that male and female was in both of us. So for someone to reach attainment, completion, they have to understand that they have a counterpart that mirrors them. And so that would be becoming God right there. And obviously, most people would think that me saying becoming God is blasphemous, but actually, that's the greatest secret and mystery that there is that you can become God, and that you're actually supposed to. So once that stage is reached, then the hero then receives the reward. The reward that they took the journey for. It can be seen in many other movies as like the Sword and the Stone. King Arthur gets the sword. The Grail, other things like that. But could be knowledge. It could be because the Grail actually is a knowledge accelerator. If you can think of anything more valuable than that, then I would like to hear what it is. But that's what the Grail is it accelerates knowledge, and basically that meaning that you can be in your body now, but you can get the whole download of your whole entire life in the now, and that's what the Grail is. So or it could be gold, it could be that too, but it's a reward. So the hero then receives the reward, and then once that is attained in the extraordinary world, the hero has a choice to come back to the ordinary world with that reward, or stay there in the extraordinary world, which anyone, you would be like, why the hell would I go back into the world of common day that I came from when I worked so hard to get out of it, and then attain this reward, and then get to know the truth? Why would I go back to do it again? and that's the thing, is any hero would go back, because they would know that that other people need to know how to get out of here. So with that knowledge, the hero returns to the world of common day with the reward that he has gained, and he is obviously attacked by agents of that world, that the powers that be, because she is now a threat to the system, and just by being themselves, and having the reward or whatever it is that they have, they're a threat to dismantling the way that they have set it up to be, and because they have the knowledge that that's not the way it's supposed to be. So that then the hero returns back to the world of common day with that knowledge, which is called the magic flight back, because he's coming back from the extraordinary world. He's coming back from another world into a world that doesn't even know that there is another world. So that's a task, and so at that point, after the magic flight, the hero is obviously attacked by the agents of the world, but at that point is able to defeat them with ease, because of the knowledge that he has and the reward that he has gained in the extraordinary world, because the agents aren't able to defeat him, because that's what they want. They want what he has, and that's why they attack him. So once the magic flight is done, the hero then becomes the master of two worlds. Obviously, at that point, becomes the master of the world of common day and the extraordinary world, the material world and the spiritual world. And then because he has been in them both, and he has done the ultimate in both, and so that would mean that you have mastered both of those worlds. And then that leads to the last step, which is the freedom to live, which is, I mean, I can't obviously think of anything more than I would want than that. So that's the hero's journey. And it is the path of the Illuminati, and the Holy Grail, and the Knights of the Grail are the Illuminati, the enlightened ones, who keep the light of truth throughout the ages, and then they give it freely to those that are to listen, so that they can too do what they have done. Which there have been many different people that have come to this earth that have demonstrated that in the past, and there are those that are demonstrating it now, and there will also be there in the future. So that's the hero's journey. And I was going to go into the Age of Deception and the Nine Veils, but I will save that for the next video. So, and then plus I'll talk about maybe how my life completely, my hero's journey, because it's very important, because that's what I'm living right now, and I'm here on the magic flight back, given what I've learned in the other world, and I definitely do get attacked for it, and but I will not ever give up. So be that.